You slice open an avocado, scoop it onto your plate, and eat it without thinking twice. Just a fruit, just breakfast. But the moment that first bite hits your stomach, your body treats it like a delivery package packed with instructions. Your gallbladder contracts. Hormones fire from your intestinal wall. Fat-soluble compounds that were locked inside the salad you ate alongside it suddenly become available for absorption. One food just changed how your body processes everything else on the plate. Most people file avocado under one of two labels. Either it is a healthy fat and therefore good, or it has too much fat and therefore suspicious. Both of those frames miss the point entirely. The real story is not about whether avocado belongs on some approved food list. The real story is what its specific molecules do once they hit your bloodstream, your gut lining, your artery walls, and your liver. Oleic acid changing the structure of your cholesterol particles. Potassium loosening the grip of your blood vessel walls within hours. Fiber reshaping the bacterial colonies living in your colon within days. These are not vague wellness benefits. These are measurable, timed, mechanical events happening inside you. And that is exactly what we are going to track. We are going to follow one avocado from the moment it hits your tongue through the first 30 minutes, the first 6 hours, the first week, and the first full month of daily consumption. Stage by stage, organ by organ, you will see which systems respond first, which biomarkers actually shift, and where the clinical evidence is rock solid versus where it is still catching up. No superfood mythology, no diet trends, just the biology. Let us start the clock. The moment that avocado hits your stomach, your gut wall detects the fat and sends a chemical signal called cholecystokinin, or CCK. Think of CCK as a traffic controller. Its job is to slow everything down. When your gut senses fat, CCK tells your stomach to hold the food longer, squeeze slower, and release it in small, controlled doses instead of dumping it all at once. A meal without much fat passes through your stomach in about an hour or two. Add avocado, and that window stretches by another 1 to 2 hours. This is why you feel full longer after eating avocado. It is not some vague, healthy fat keeps you satisfied thing. It is a hormone physically slowing the exit valve of your stomach. While that is happening, your gallbladder gets the same signal and contracts, squeezing out about 20 to 30 milliliters of bile. Bile is a digestive fluid your liver makes and your gallbladder stores, and its whole purpose is to break fat into tiny droplets small enough for your intestinal wall to absorb. Without bile, fat passes right through you. With it, your gut can pull apart every molecule of oleic acid, every microgram of fat-soluble vitamins, and every carotenoid riding inside that avocado. And here is where it gets interesting. Avocado does not just deliver its own nutrients. It unlocks nutrients from everything else on your plate. If you eat a salad with tomatoes, carrots, or leafy greens, those vegetables contain carotenoids like beta-carotene and lycopene. Your body needs fat to absorb them. Without fat in the meal, most of those compounds pass through your gut unused. Add avocado, and absorption jumps by anywhere from 2.6 to 15 times, depending on the specific carotenoid. The avocado acts like a key that opens a door those other nutrients cannot walk through alone. Within the first hour, your small intestine has broken the avocado fat into individual fatty acids. The star player is oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat that makes up roughly 2/3 of avocado's total fat content. Your intestinal cells package oleic acid into transport vehicles called chylomicrons, which are basically tiny fat-filled spheres coated in protein so they can travel through your water-based blood without falling apart. Think of them as shipping containers designed to move fat through a system that does not mix well with fat. These chylomicrons enter your lymphatic system first, then drain into your bloodstream, and within 2 to 3 hours, oleic acid is circulating through your entire body. Here is what it starts doing. Your blood carries cholesterol in particles called LDL and HDL. LDL is the one your doctor watches, but not all LDL is the same. Some LDL particles are large and buoyant. Some are small and dense. The small, dense ones are the dangerous ones because they slip into artery walls more easily and they oxidize faster, meaning they trigger the inflammatory process that leads to plaque buildup. Oleic acid from avocado gets incorporated into the membrane of those LDL particles. When it replaces saturated fats in that membrane, the particle becomes more stable and more resistant to oxidation. It is like swapping a brittle shell for a flexible one, harder to crack, harder to damage. Meanwhile, the triglyceride spike you normally get after a meal, that surge of fat flooding your blood, runs about 20 to 25% lower when the meal contains avocado compared to a meal with the same calories from saturated fat. Lower triglyceride spikes mean less stress on your artery walls in those critical hours after eating. At the same time, the potassium from that single avocado, roughly 485 milligrams, enters your blood plasma and reaches your blood vessel walls. Your arteries are wrapped in smooth muscle cells, and those cells control how tight or relaxed the vessel is. Potassium directly feeds the sodium-potassium pump embedded in those muscle cell membranes. More potassium available means the pump runs more efficiently, the muscle cells relax slightly, and your blood vessels widen. This is not a slow, weeks-long adaptation. This is ion channel physics happening within hours of eating. Your blood sugar also stays flatter. The combination of fat and fiber from the avocado slows down how fast carbohydrates from the rest of your meal reach your bloodstream. Slower absorption means a gentler insulin response. No sharp spike, no sharp crash. That matters every single time you eat. Everything so far happens in a single day. One avocado, one meal. But the real transformation starts when you make it a daily pattern. By days 3 through 7, the fiber in avocado begins reshaping your gut microbiome. Your colon houses trillions of bacteria, and those bacteria eat whatever you send down to them. Avocado delivers about 7 grams of fiber per fruit, a mix of soluble and insoluble types. The soluble fiber becomes food for specific bacterial populations. In a controlled trial at the University of Illinois, 163 adults were split into 2 groups for 12 weeks. The group eating daily avocado showed significantly greater microbial diversity in their gut. They also produced more short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate. Butyrate matters because it is the primary fuel source for the cells lining your colon. More butyrate means those cells have more energy to maintain the intestinal barrier, the thin wall that separates the contents of your gut from your bloodstream. A stronger barrier means fewer inflammatory molecules leaking through into circulation. And here's the part nobody expects. That same study found the avocado group excreted more fat in their stool. The fiber in avocado actually binds to some of the dietary fat in your gut and carries it out before your body can absorb it. The avocado partially blocks absorption of its own calories, its own fiber working against its own fat content. By weeks 2 through 4, the cardiovascular effects become clinically measurable. A controlled feeding study at Penn State put participants on 1 avocado per day for 5 weeks. Their LDL cholesterol dropped by about 13.5 milligrams per deciliter compared to a similar diet without avocado. But the real finding was deeper than that headline number. The reduction was most dramatic in small, dense LDL, the exact subtype most strongly linked to atherosclerosis. Standard cholesterol panels do not even separate this out. Your total LDL number could look fine while the dangerous subfraction runs high. Avocado targets that subfraction specifically. Oxidized LDL also dropped because those oleic acid molecules sitting in the LDL membrane make the whole particle structurally harder for free radicals to damage. Less oxidation means less of the inflammatory chain reaction that builds plaque inside artery walls. The daily potassium adds up too. Across studies on potassium-rich diets, consistent intake at these levels contributes to a 2 to 4 millimeter drop in systolic blood pressure. That sounds small, but sustained over years, that range is associated with meaningful reductions in stroke and heart disease risk. After a full month of daily avocado, the effects stack into something broader. Oleic acid influences a molecular switch called NFKB, a protein complex that controls which inflammatory genes get turned on inside your cells. When oleic acid is consistently present, NFKB activity dials down, which means your cells produce fewer inflammatory signals like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. At the same time, the butyrate from your now better-fed gut bacteria is calming intestinal inflammation from the other direction. And the carotenoids you have been absorbing more efficiently, particularly lutein and zeaxanthin, are quietly accumulating in the tissue at the back of your eyes, thickening the macular pigment that protects your retina from light damage. The largest trial on daily avocado, the Habas study from 2022, followed over 1,000 people eating 1 avocado per day for 6 months. The most striking result was not a dramatic transformation. It was that adding a calorie-dense fruit every single day for half a year did not increase visceral fat. The satiety signals, the fiber, and the metabolic effects offset the added calories almost completely. The body did not store the surplus. It adjusted. So think about what just happened. You followed one fruit from your tongue to your bloodstream, to the bacterial colonies in your colon, to the walls of your arteries. One food, and it touched your gallbladder, your cholesterol particles, your blood pressure, your gut lining, your inflammatory signaling, and even the pigment protecting the back of your eyes. That is not a health food. That is a multi-system molecular event disguised as breakfast. But here is the most useful thing to take from all of this. The strongest evidence points to 2 specific effects: shifting your LDL cholesterol towards safer particle types and increasing the diversity of bacteria in your gut. Those 2 changes are well documented in controlled trials with real numbers behind them. Everything else, the inflammation pathways, the macular pigment, the liver support, is promising but still early. Honest line in the sand. And the single most practical insight is not about the avocado itself. It is about what you eat it with. Pair it with colorful vegetables, tomatoes, carrots, dark leafy greens, and you multiply carotenoid absorption by up to 15 times. The avocado becomes an amplifier, a key that unlocks nutrients your body would otherwise waste. Your body does not read food labels. It does not know what a health trend is. It receives molecules and it responds. Every meal is a set of instructions delivered to a system that is always listening, always adjusting, always building or breaking down based on what you send it. That avocado you sliced open this morning without thinking twice, was a conversation between food and physiology. Now you know what was being said.